Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot and a member of the PMDG Boeing 777 beta team. Welcome to another feature preview of the PMDG 777, and this one is going to be about the Universal Flight Tablet. Now, again, all of the pictures originate from Mathai's original preview in the PMDG forum, which is going to be linked in the video description below if you want to have a look at the pictures in their full resolution. So this one is going to be about the Universal Flight Tablet. And there are a couple of cool things that have been added to it with the Boeing 777. We're going to start with the first one right over here, and that is different positioning of the tablet within the cockpit. So you now have the option to take it out of the mount and position it right on top of the CDU, which makes it really easy to do your flight plan entries, check your route against the charts, and basically do all your handling without having to look around the cockpit, look left and right, just in order to find all your information. This was one of the features that I really pushed for in the beta, and they've done an excellent job getting that done. Now, you can also move it to another location on the window. Some airlines don't position the tablet in the position where it is located by default next to the tiller, but some have it either attached to the window with a suction mount, like PMDG have done it over here, or have it mounted on the clipboard holder down there, and you now have the option to move the Universal Flight Tablet between the location next to the tiller up to the window where some airlines have it, giving you quite a bit of versatility. Now, if you want to stow the UFT, you can do so in the holder that is located just below the tiller that you can see on the image. Going on from there then, let's have a look at a couple of the feature improvements that have been brought to the tablet. The first one is what you can see right over here, an improvement of the standard map. Now, for Navigraph users, it's really easy. You have a lot of information available through the Navigraph charts, but if you are not a Navigraph user, then you can now get an enhanced amount of information from the standard chart display that is available, as you can see in the screenshot over here. Going forward from there, a vertical map has also been added, which just enhances situational awareness in the Universal Flight Tablet now. So let's go forward, and this is one of the things that have been most requested. The ground connections are now available through the Universal Flight Tablet, and there are 5 different options available, from ground connections over ground service vehicles, door management, automated ground operations, and finally ground maintenance. Now, the ground maintenance is one that we really want to have a look at a little bit later on, and that I'm going to emphasize during my preview videos as well. But let's start with what we have on the ground connections over here. So from there you can control your wheel chocks, and when the chocks are in place you can connect ground power unit, air start unit, air conditioning unit. You can choose between different types of ground powers, so you might have a dual jetway plug as you can see over there, but you also have different options available, and you can control the jetway from this very page. Moving forward then, the next is going to be the ground service vehicles. Now over here you can connect pretty much anything that you can see in the picture over there, and you can either connect them individually, which is going to operate the respective door as well, or you can just request or release all of them at the same time. Especially the release all button is really handy when you are done with your pre-flight preparations, you just want to get rid of everything, and you hit release all and everything is gone. Now, talking about ground vehicles, this is what they look like from the outside, so that's actually looking pretty cool. Going ahead then, we have the door management page, and on here there's a couple of things. So starting on the left hand side, you have a visual representation of the status of all the doors, and you can individually arm and disarm them, or you can just arm and disarm them all at the same time, and the same goes for opening and closing of the doors. Now, the 777 does not have a door arming status indicator by default. It is the company option, and not all airlines have purchased that. to make it easy for you to see whether your doors are armed or not, since in the real world, if you did not have such an indicator, there would be an SOP in place for your flight attendants to inform the flight deck one way or another that the doors have indeed been armed. For example, the purser might get the armed signal from all the individual attendants at the individual doors, and then the purser would confirm that the doors are armed to the flight crew. That is just one possibility here. Now, to simulate something like that, the actual door status is shown on the left-hand side, which is really handy if the indicator is not fitted to your door page on the synoptic pages. Also over there you can control other doors, such as the avionic access doors and the E&E access doors. That's really neat little extra that the PMDG 777 has. Now, when a jetway gets connected or when a stair gets connected, the door is going to open and close itself automatically. So you might end up at some point having individual doors that are open while others are not, and if you just want to close up everything, you've got the buttons right on the top, and next to that you have the buttons to arm all the slides at the same time. Now, since I know that a couple of you are going to ask, no, it will not be possible to actually deploy a slide because the agreement with Boeing simply doesn't allow stuff like that. So let's go on to the next page then, and this is the automated ground ops, and that's a really cool thing. So you have seen the manual ground operations in the 737, and in the 777 it's been enhanced to automatic ground operations. So over here you can select several different turnaround types, like you can do a short turnaround, which aims to be, I believe, 55 minutes, and then you can do a medium or a long turnaround as well. You enter the uplift fuel, and then you've got all the different processors that are going to start at the same time or individually after one another, depending on what kind of process it is. And this is not only going to show you the progress bars at the bottom, but it is also going to handle all the individual ground equipment and open and close the doors respectively, and it's just pretty cool. It's really a simulation of everything going on at the same time there in a typical 777 turnarounds. Now, on the right side, on the bottom there, you can see that some services might have already completed, and stuff like portable water or lavatory services are actually all simulated and can have an influence on your aircraft's zero fuel weight. So that's pretty cool stuff that you have there. Now, going on to the last page then, this is the ground maintenance page, and this is really one of those pages that I personally like the most. Now, in the previous preview of the landing gears, you have already seen that tire damage, brake damage and wear and all that good stuff is possible in the PMDG 777. But obviously, not all users want to perform a walk around all the time, since typically the flight simmer simulates a flight from the pilot flying's perspective, but it would be the pilot monitoring who is going to do the walk around. For that reason, you have the ground maintenance page here, where on the left hand side you get a good overview of the current system status. For example, when they're showing blue, then there is nothing to report, but the colors of, for example, the wheels or the brakes or the oil quantities and all that good stuff, even the oxygen, can change, and that is going to indicate that some maintenance might be needed. Likewise, the fluid quantities are being saved in the PMDG 777, so if the respective option is selected in the aircraft's configuration options in the FMC, then you are going to start off with the same amount of oil quantity you had when you finished your previous flight. The same goes for the hydraulic quantities and for the oxygen quantity, so all that good stuff can be refilled over the ground maintenance page. Finally, let's go ahead and have a look at one more picture, and that is over here, the performance calculations. Now, many of you are aware of that already, but a couple of things that have been changed compared to the previous versions. So, of course, it's been adapted for the 777, but the 777 has a couple of features that did not exist on the 737. For example, it has automatic anti-icing, and all that good stuff is taken into account over there, and you're also able to manually change the runway length in order to simulate any NOTAMs or intersection takeoffs, for example. So that's a really cool thing, giving you additional performance calculation capabilities, such as, for example, being able to calculate an intersection takeoff, even though it's not yet possible to select an intersection directly, but if you know the runway length available, then you can change that stuff. Of course, similar to the 737, you are able to change the units, so you can change your runway length from feet to meters, or the QNH from inches to hectopascals and so on. So that's pretty good stuff that the airplane can do there. Also, as shown in the picture, it does support a lot of non-normal conditions. In the one you see above, for example, an engine shutdown, either left or right, is selected and a flap 20 landing is going to be performed. Now, in that case, the non-normal condition is going to take precedence over the flap configuration, and that is going to provide your final landing configuration in that case. Alrighty, so this is the preview of the changes to the Universal Flight Tablet. Let me know what you think of them in the comments below. I'm very much looking forward to your feedback on those and how you like them. Thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one, and in the meantime, be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.